We begin tonight on Checkpoint with the conditions revealed in footage shot in a colony egg farm. That's a relatively new system of poultry farming. The footage showed dead and decomposing chickens in the same areas as hens still laying eggs. This was in a Waikato farm owned by the Heyden family, which has former Fonterra chairman Sir Henry Heyden as a director and shareholder. Yesterday, the Countdown supermarket chain announced it was pulling the morning harvest eggs, which come from the Heyden farm, from its shelves. But Countdown's rival, Foodstuffs, is not doing the same thing, and morning harvest eggs will still be available on the shelves at Pack and Save and New World supermarkets. Now, Sir Henry Heyden is also a director of Foodstuffs North Island. We asked Foodstuffs if it's a conflict of interest that a company in which he's a director sells eggs to a company in which he's a director and continues to do so despite their main competitor taking those eggs from the shelves. In a statement, Foodstuffs says that, like any large company, we have very clear and proven conflict avoidance management processes. Foodstuffs is aware corrective action has been taken at the farm and will continue to sell the eggs. They are confident the same situation does not continue. John Darrick from Farmwatch filmed the footage inside the Heyden Farm's facility.
I first went into the farm about 8 months ago last year, and at that stage I realised that the hens hadn't been in the cages for particularly long. And I thought the cages weren't particularly great, and it didn't look like a very good farm. But I was really interested in what the hens would look like after they'd been in there for a good period of time. So I went back a couple of months ago now, it was about a month ago, and what I saw absolutely shocked me. Most obviously, there was a very large degree of defeathering, feather loss on the hens. And these feathers had been worn off, ripped off, when they'd got caught in the sides of the cages or been pecked by other hens. And I took a few hens to a vet, and so I can confirm this, a poultry specialist. But most concerning and most shockingly for me were the very large number of trapped hens which I saw. Many of these had died and were in various states of decomposition. Some were very, very decomposed. But there were also some live hens which were stuck, and I managed to rescue 4 of these, but of the 4 I rescued, 2 were in such bad condition that they died. 1 had to be put down and 1 died before I could get it to the vet the next morning.
John, when you say they were trapped, can you describe how they were trapped, where they were trapped?
Right, so these colony cages are called enriched cages, and that means that they've got a few extra bits inside the cage, which are supposedly there for the hen's welfare. So running down the middle of the cage, there are these 2 metal bars. They're kind of like pipes, and they're very low to the ground, and there's these clips attaching the pipes to the bottom of the cage. And what I saw were that many hens were getting trapped underneath these bars and working themselves further and further in and getting very, very stuck.
And so you saw birds that were stuck, you saw birds that had died in that position and were in a state of decomposition. What was happening to the other hens in the same enclosure? Were they continuing to lay around them?
Yes, so we were seeing eggs being laid right beside these decomposing hens, and we saw hens which were laying eggs for which consumers would buy, pecking and cannibalising their dead cage mates.
Cannibalising?
Yeah.
So what was your assessment of the conditions in this Heyden farm?
I was stunned. I've been going into battery farms, the old style of cage farms, for 10 years now, and I have never seen animals in the condition that these animals were in. I was absolutely shocked by what I saw.
And John, can you be absolutely certain that was the Heyden farm? You're not confusing farms. The footage we've seen from there is from the Heyden farm. What you're describing is from the Heyden farm.
Yep, I can absolutely confirm it. I've spoken to NPI on numerous occasions, and they've confirmed to me that it's Heyden Farm.